as we discussed in the daily financial news this morning, which would have been August 1st, I wanted to bring up with Beth DeVerso, top 1% agent in the country, what I heard from Brian Lebo in Vegas yesterday. Beth, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me here. Always fun to be here.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to have this conversation with you is I wanted to share what Brian shared about the Las Vegas market. Like you, he is in the numbers. He has a channel called the Lebo Group where he publishes every month what's going on. Um, And the reason I wanted to do that is my experience says Vegas, what happens in Vegas happens first and then sometimes spreads to other markets. I don't know if you caught the daily financial news yet this morning, but you ready for what he told me?
I did not catch it yet, but I would love to hear what he told you.
So he told me two things. One, he told me that July transactions are going to be down about 40 and quite possibly 50% from last July, right? Remember, last July is when rates went up.
Yeah.
So again, we didn't really feel the transaction hit until August and September. July was like the last month of 4% interest rates. But he's like, Michael, we could be down 50% year on year transactions. Second, he told me that activity in Vegas, now it might have been weather related, was dead, crickets, almost no activity. Yeah. So again, that data probably won't show up till August or September, because when Brian's talking no activity, he's talking about open escrows.
Right.
So first, July transactions down 50%, escrows opened quiet. So thought we'd see what's happening in King County or Seattle.
Right. So we are seeing the summer lull, that some traditional summer slowdown that we usually see starting in June got delayed, but I'm seeing it now that we're heading into August, which is prime vacation season, that it's quiet out there.
Okay.
But I am still seeing that transactions are down. New listings are down. All the activity is down. And we saw, I remember it was a few months ago that we were seeing things more dramatically down. Like our transaction count was down more earlier in the year than it is now. But we did get hit really hard in a very extreme way around this time last year.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
we're seeing that we're comparing those month over month numbers. And there's one that I thought was particularly interesting because we just got hot off the press, our July numbers for King County, which is this greater Seattle area. And we could do a screen share if you want.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Want to look at the graphs and stuff, so I can pull that up for you, and we can look at this. Now, this one here was one that I thought was one of the more interesting ones. This is the median sale price, right? And I had predicted that, I'll give myself a little pat on the back, I'll allow that, but I predicted that this month might be where we start to break even. Yep. The thing that is hard is like, it's the only way I see the numbers is to hover over it. But you can see here, and for people that are looking on a little screen, like, you might not be able to see, but it's $899, $950 median sale price for all of King County.
For July.
And then for July. And then last year it was $900. So we're like $50. It's $50 less to buy a house.
You nailed it. I mean, we go back and look at your playlist. I got to give you one of those shirts, right? The nailed it.
I know.
Shirt.
I need a shirt.
You got it right.
I'll take a swing and a miss one too, because I do that too. You know, and I'll take my wins when I get them also. So
yeah. Yeah.
But we can see our prices bottomed out over here back in January at $799, $950. So peaked around $1 million last May. So, but we are seeing
peak craziness.
Yeah. And so we're looking at, I don't know which of these are data points you'd be interested in checking out, but
I want to look at volume. What would that be?
Sales volume, number of transactions.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do this. All right. So here we are.
So how many did we do?
1,626.
And then what did we do last July?
1,950.
All right, so you're down 15% ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
so
know,
you're not down 50 like Brian.
Yeah, not quite as much. You know, we got our hit a little earlier, I think. I don't think we suffered the most a little while ago. And now it feels like we've reached a little bit of an equilibrium. that I think is going to remain pretty consistent going forward. As long as interest rates remain where they are now, I think we're just going to kind of keep continuing on where we are, is my
Yeah.
guess.
Does this by chance know how many pendings that were? How many
We can
properties
do
were
that
pending?
too. So let's see.
That was actually the most concerning. Now Brian didn't have any
Yeah.
data yet because he had just it wasn't actually the first until
Oh, and I have to
today.
say, all of this data is graciously provided by the Northwest
Yes.
Multiple Listing Service, and they gave me permission to share this with you fine folks today. So
Northwest
they're the
Multiple
ones
Listing
that put this
Service,
all
you're
together.
awesome.
Thank you, Northwest Multiple Listing Service.
There you go. Good
Love
job.
this that they make this so easy for us to consume here together. So pending listings, we've got 1,725. I did a little math this morning too, for percentages. But it was we're at 1,725, and then this time last year, so it's about the same.
About the same.
Yeah, about the same number of pendings, but our active listing numbers are down, and that's what I'm seeing every week. I watch to see how many pendings versus new actives, and it's always about 30% more pendings than I'm seeing new ones coming on.
So your days on market are shrinking.
Days on market are shrinking. So for days on market, do you look at average or median days on market?
I'm not sure. I generally look at median for everything because average takes the outliers.
It can be all over the place. Yeah.
Oh,
so we've been really, really low. Look how low. It's
look at
still low. And then we got this oddball here back in January. But January is January. That's always where things are just getting started post holidays for us. So, but it's interesting to me the difference between the median and average days on market. It's quite a bit different.
Look at that.
But average being average, 19 days average.
Now you're in the market. Usually what happens with average is so far from median is there's 10% of the market that's been on the market for 300 days or, whatever, some super
those ones are going to skew it. Or like if one, like for median sales price in a specific area, if some really expensive house sells, it just throws off all the numbers.
Yeah.
Let's see, where's the list price to sale price ratio? This one's always interesting. So here's where I remember we were talking about
that 112. That is so not healthy.
This is for the entire metro area.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Totally nuts. So we're back to a more reasonable about what was it, 101%. But what I'm seeing actually when I niche down into my buy box area, I'm seeing just this last week or two that sales prices are starting to come in just a hair below the list price.
Okay.
Which means fewer bidding wars. You get bidding wars, they go over lists. And that's what made this happen back here. And all this, even back in 2021, it was a way over list.
Yeah. Can I see the active inventory or the active listings? I'm not sure what it's called.
Yeah. Let's see, active listings, number of active listings. Here we go. So here we are. We've got 2,345 in July of this year, and then I got to do it this way. 3602. So active listings, I crunched it, we're down about 35%.
But what is interesting to me is I think we're seeing, from what would that be, February to July of 2023, clearly an uptrend.
Yeah, look at that. To
me, that just shows me that interest rates matter. Even though new listings are down, your active inventory is starting to pile up. So do you have a days on market? Is that in there?
Yeah.
It's got to be higher.
Well, the median one was lower. So remember that was
low. That's right. Because we already looked at that.
So and sorry, this title up here is wrong. It's not changing when we're looking at so sorry if that's confusing to people. We're not looking at the same median sale price here. We're looking at days on, it says around here, days to sell, median down at the bottom. So it's an interesting time right now where we don't have a lot on the market. We're not seeing a stampede for the new listings. I will say that there are examples of that where we are still seeing bidding wars and people going bananas for certain listings that are really gonna
the dialed in properties,
standout ones. So if you're a seller, prep really matters. How you prep and market and price your listing are really critical. All that never changes, but especially now, because we're seeing a very interesting market here where it just seems like the first word that came to mind was frozen. It's not frozen, but it feels like it's just
Well, let's compare it to last July, or maybe it was
yeah.
last August. I
Mm-hmm.
remember talking to you. So first off, last April, when you had 112%, you're like, Michael, this is crazy. The most unbalanced market I've ever seen. And you were right. Then I think we got to August and you're like, Michael, stop. Nobody's going to open houses. Nothing's happening. It's like a vacuum.
Yeah. There was a sense of panic out there for a
Right.
while.
Yeah.
I remember that around this time last summer you could be a seller doing everything right and the house is still not selling, price below where it would have sold before, and doing hitting all the boxes. And so I had a lot of tough conversations with people, and I told them, if we're doing everything else right, then price is the only lever left to pull if you
Right.
still want to sell.
Yeah. You can
So
take it off and wait, hope for a better
mhm,
time, which is an
yeah.
option always,
Mm-hmm.
or you play with price. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Interest rates matter.
Mhm.
And I will say that the way I tweaked these numbers was just all price ranges, but in the lower tier, I am still seeing strong demand for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Anything that appeals to that first time buyer is flying off the market, typically with multiple offers.
Mhm.
And the amount of demand I'm seeing for that makes me think that I think that's going to continue. That for that lower tier price point is going to be
Yeah.
selling really strong
Yeah, I agree with you.
for the
How about
foreseeable.
new listings? Like how is new listing activity coming?
Yeah, new listings. Here we go. So you
Oh,
see the seasonality here too, right?
yep,
So,
yep,
it
yep, yep.
always is up and then down around January for us.
Yeah.
So we have 2190 new listings in July of this year. 33,094. So
Ooh,
fewer new listings still. That's
yeah.
been going on for months now. It's been well into the negative
Yeah, that's
numbers
down
year over
30%.
year for months now. So I think that so since we've leveled out price wise, so like prices dipped for a little bit, now we're even
Mm-hmm.
year over year. Um I don't know that we're gonna go back into the negative year over year anytime
Yeah,
soon.
can we go back to price? Let's look at that because
Yeah.
you get a nailed it t-shirt, but let's look at August.
Right. Yeah. Okay, sale price median. So yeah, so let's see.
So last July we were at 900, and where did it go in August last year? Was it
Yeah, that's what I'm
flat
trying to
last?
pull up here. It was pretty much the same. So we leveled out. We leveled out at about 900 for a couple months there last summer.
Oh,
Then
okay.
it dipped a little bit in September to 880, back
Mhm.
up 907. Did
Okay.
rates go down right about here? I my memory is not that sharp, but like something happened here where it
Yeah,
popped up again.
I think we had that 599 for just like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, like for a hot minute, it went down a little bit and people jumped
Mhm.
in again. And then
Yeah.
it just went down, boom, down to 830. That's quite a big drop for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
820, and then bottomed out around 800 here.
So so in August, let's see if you get another nailed it t-shirt. Do you think you're up, down, or flat from 900 in August on this chart?
I think we're going to be about the same.
Yeah, plus or minus
I don't think
1%.
prices are going to go up this month because it's sleepy out there. People are
Mhm.
distracted in the great Northwest. People, when the sun is shining and
Mhm.
it's pretty outside, people are just gone. People are traveling.
Yeah.
I don't think the
I mean, again, in order for something to close, which would account on this, it would almost have to be in escrow today.
today pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, you might get lucky by the end of the week if you're, an all cash buyer or something.
Yeah.
But you need 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a fast escrow,
Yeah. 30
regardless.
days is pretty typical
Mm-hmm.
in most places.
Yeah.
And what I'm starting to see the past week or two is, so I've been starting to pull back as a listing agent. I'm starting to pull back on, in our area, we set an offer review date if we think there's potential to get multiple offers on a house.
Okay.
And I've been doing that, recommending that on most listings. But the last one I brought on, I did not recommend it because all of a sudden I was seeing more carryover, like more houses missing the review date, and this too much inventory in that specific area. So you have to keep your finger on the pulse, because we don't want to make it look like we're expecting multiple offers when there's 6 other houses that didn't get them. You have to be tuned into that. But the ones that I'm bringing on that are lower price point, well, yeah, of course we're going to do that, because that's what we're seeing. I brought one on that had 6 offers. It closed in a week.
Yeah.
The cash buyer won. So
yeah, what price point was that roughly?
It was $550.
Okay.
And it was a nice manufactured home in town in my area, which I'm kind of East King County, east side, rural, commutable to the tech employers.
Okay.
And people are really, really eager to get into those areas just with anything decent, and there's nothing for sale. And so when something comes on, we did have a lot of first time buyers.
Yeah.
And then then the cash investors are out there too, and they're more the type of cash investors we're seeing are people that are just looking for a place to park their money.
Right.
Cash flow is kind of an afterthought.
Yeah. Well, if you pay cash for it, it'll cash flow.
Yeah, it's gonna cash. Yeah, right. Like you're guaranteed cash flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Return on investment or whatever. They're just more thinking long term.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Cool. Well, let's thank the Northwest Multiple Listing Service one more time. We appreciate your access once a month. Beth, any kind of closing thoughts on what we just looked at for July?
So what I'm going to say, August? Looking forward, is I think that for folks that are looking for a little more advantage as a buyer, this is a good time for that. I'm not one of those agents that always says it's a good time to buy, but I'm going to say right now, and I say this every summer, and I wish more people would take action on this, is just, it feels like it's not going to change and it's just going to be kind of sleepy for the foreseeable, but then it isn't going to be. So it's going to change. This is the time, if you're out there and you're sharp, you can catch a good or great deal while others are asleep or gone. Somebody might see it, but if they're out of the area vacationing, they're not going to be running in and checking out a house. But if you've been doing your daily work, like you've been recommending, you'll recognize a good deal when it comes up. And if you can get out there fast and be ready to strike, this could be a great opportunity between now and the end of the month. So
I couldn't agree more.
I would definitely encourage people to stay alert.
Yeah. Again, folks, we proved it one more time last year when I bought something between Thanksgiving and Christmas, actually bought 2. You need to know your market, your buy box. If you're in Seattle and the sleepy time is August, start rating crazy offers. Again, I told you about a story in the Daily Financial News about a property in Vegas that could have sold 1.8 all day long. The seller ended up taking 1.1 because he was done. He was checked out. He wanted to move on with his life. Sometimes you just gotta go. And
you have to be prepared and ready to recognize those opportunities when they come along. And I do it too. I'm scouring my buy box every time I log on to my computer. So I'd say minimum 5 times a day, I'm looking at that.
Yes.
Every single thing that happens. And then, so something pops up that's like out of is an anomaly and an opportunity.
Yeah.
I know it immediately. And anyone who's out there doing the work will know it immediately. And if there's something wrong with it, you'll be able to spot that too. Like, oh, that's why that's so low, that one. Or it's just like, oh, somebody just, for whatever reason, didn't do it right, and you can swoop in and get a good opportunity and a great deal out there. Yeah. So it really does take that daily vigilance to be able to spot that, and preparation too. And you need to be decisive, and
couldn't agree
there you
more.
go. So, but this is the time.
And the last thing, Beth, one of the things that you do for the One Rental at a Time community is you connect them with other 1% agents around the country. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and says, Beth, help me find someone in Austin or Nashville or Miami or any other market across the country, how should they do that?
Oh yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun connecting people in our community with other great agents across the country. And it's been really great. So people can find me at bethtraversogroup.com or on social media at Beth Traverso.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.